We make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give. It is said none other than Winston Churchill. With this, dear Toastmasters and guests, a very good afternoon to you all. I am Ramesh Rajendran, your Surge at Terms, and I would like to welcome you all after a milestone meeting to 601 of Medley Toastmasters Club. The mission of Toastmasters Club is to provide a supportive and a positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop the communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. In every Toastmasters meeting, we follow these practices. Number one, if you're not the speaker, please put yourself on mute. Two, when you're moving, please switch off your video to avoid distractions. Number three, please avoid taboo topics such as sex, religion, and politics. Number four, please attend your meeting with formal attire. Number five, guest, kindly prefix your name with the word guest, that is guest followed by your name. So with this, I would like to welcome today's presiding officer, Toastmaster Raghunath, instead of DTM Thomas Abraham, sir. So about him, he is head of South Asia Business Unit in Nissan Motors Corporation. He is currently our vice president of education in this term, and he has been elected as the president for upcoming term along with the team starting from Jan 2021. And his colleagues have said he's a very motivative and a friendly person to work with. So with this introduction, I would like to present the stage to our today's presiding officer, Toastmaster Raghunath, sir. Please.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ramesh. Can you hear me? Very warm good afternoon to everyone. You know, every day it seems like our world grows more and more online, and there is like an endless barrage of online meeting after online meeting. Like it could be work, it is like you see online schools, online doctors' appointments, and of course this Toastmaster meeting. I'm not sure whether it's that routine, that too much of barrage of these online meetings is getting into our members, or the end of the year festivity that is coming in to us. So with the year and festivity coming in for the next few weeks, a few announcements. We will share with you the role players and speech slots for the next few sessions by tomorrow, so that you could reconfirm and avoid and plan accordingly. And also for the from January 21 submission, we will be sharing the form and latest by tomorrow. So you could confirm and plan your meetings accordingly. And another key point is that we have the special general body meeting on 12, which we have a lot of discussion points that it's already been circulated. We need almost close to 50% participation. So request all members to be there on the 12th. And today we have guests. I have Nithya, Priyanka. Can you open your mic and tell me how you came about to know about Toastmasters and especially Medley?
Yeah, hi. This is my second session as a guest to this Medley Toastmasters group. I had reached out to Saravanan a couple of weeks ago, and he suggested I join in for a few weeks before I, decide to formally join the group. So that's why I'm here.
What do you do?
I work for a non-profit.
Okay. Yes, Kavya. How did you know about Medley and
Good afternoon, everyone. Actually, I am a part of another Toastmasters club in Anna Nagar, that is Towering Speakers. My mentor, TM Vaikunth, actually suggested me to attend Medley Toastmasters to get more experience and understand, because unlike COVID things, otherwise we cannot get an opportunity to attend other meetings, especially during the weekends. I'm very honored to be a part of this such a prestigious Toastmasters club of Medley.
Thank you. Priyanka, how did you come to know about Medley, and would you like to share? And how did you know about Toastmasters?
Actually, we do have Toastmaster club in our office, but I was not part of it. But in this lockdown, I thought I'll join. But my native is actually like not here. Like I stay in Bangalore.
Okay.
So when I was in my in-laws' place, I thought I'll join Toastmasters, and I sent the request, and I think Navneet got back to me, and we were in touch, but then there were some hurdles coming up, so I couldn't join. So I thought I'll join as a guest and see once.
All right. Gus
I work for
Raghu, you work for?
McAfee.
Okay. Welcome to Medley. Raghu, go ahead.
Hello.
How did you know about Medley and the Toastmasters as such? You're not audible.
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, I came to know about Toastmasters from my dad's friend.
Okay.
He's in Saudi. He told me that he's joined in Toastmaster, and he said it's very useful. So I searched in Google and came to know about Medley.
Great. Okay.
I contacted Saravanan sir.
Okay.
He gave me a WhatsApp group link, so I joined in that.
Okay. Okay.
And he told me to attend the guest meeting before joining Medley.
Okay, great. Welcome to Medley, Raghu.
Thank you, sir.
So Toastmasters for today. Today we have each of this session is handled by two key players. One is the Toastmaster and the General Evaluators. And today, being the Toastmaster, it's a Sagittarian buddy, and he's a founder and CEO of Superposition Technologies. His prime area of focus is digital transformation. And prior to starting his entrepreneurship journey, he has worked with Verizon, a Fortune 100 company, building and running one of the largest e-commerce portal. A passionate wildlife photographer, please put your hands together and welcome Toastmaster John Vijayakumar as the TMOD of today. Over to you, John.
Thank you so much, Raghu. Let's do an AV check. Am I audible? Can you give me a thumbs up if you're able to hear me okay?
Yeah.
All right. So let me first introduce the theme of today's meeting. It is charity begins at home. So the literal definition that Oxford Dictionary gives for this saying is, a person's first responsibility is for the needs of their own family and friends. So, in this tough times especially, right, it is important that we look at those who are near our own, and then look at what is the needs of the society and the world at large. So while I was looking through something about this topic, right, so Oxford Dictionary themselves gave an example. It's like they had given a sentence on how you use this term charity begins at home, and this is a literal sentence that they had. He spends hours and hours on volunteer work and neglects the children, forgetting that charity begins at home, right? So it's a very powerful sentence right there. So it is important that we care for our near and dear ones. It's not that volunteer work is bad, or caring for the society is bad. It's definitely important. We have to do that, but let's strike a balance and make sure that those around us are taken care as well. Okay, so the Toastmaster of the day role is like an MC, right? So I'm going to handle the proceedings of the day. So for those of you who are guests here, let me explain how a Toastmasters meeting works. Okay, so we divide the meeting very clearly into sections. The agenda has already been shared with you. The first section we will have is the prepared speeches. Okay, so we have three speakers who have prepared their speeches, exciting topics. I can't wait to hear from them. So they will be delivering their speeches. And then we will have an evaluation session where we will have evaluators assigned for each one of these prepared speeches, who will give us their evaluations on what they liked about the speech and what can be improved. We also have a table topic session. Okay, so this is an impromptu speaking session where any one of you in this meeting, including the guests, can be called upon, and the topic will be given at random and you will have to speak on. All right. Now, to conduct the evaluation, okay, I have a person to assist me. He is the General Evaluator. So let me introduce the General Evaluator and hand the stage to him so that he can introduce the evaluation team. Okay. So the General Evaluator for today is Jagannathan. To give a few lines about him, he is a software professional with 4 years experience in the IT sector. And initially he joined Toastmasters to speak, but he told me that eventually he joins these meetings to listen to people's stories. And his hobbies, he loves to play the guitar, keyboard, and watch cricket. And I must also mention this, Jagan has won the first place in the recently held division level evaluation contest. So he has brought medley pride. So let's give a big round of applause for Jagan. And over to you, Jagan, so that you can take us through the evaluation details.
Thank you, John. So as an evaluator, as a general evaluator, what will be my job and my team's job? Point number one is to start the meeting from the sergeant at arms till the presiding officer. How have they maintained the time? Were they prepared? Did they start on time? Did they end on time? The second job was to assess the Toastmaster of the day. How was he prepared? And from then on to go on assess the speeches, the evaluation, whether the speeches were prepared, the evaluations was crisp and clear. The table topic session was on time and the topics were easy for the guests to grasp on, and how the tag evaluations were also held on, plus my own evaluation of the general evaluation. Now here I have I have a team of 6 members, 3 speech evaluators and 3 timer, R-counter and grammarian. That's what in Toastmaster parlance we call it as tag. So the timer for today is Lakshmi Ramesh. Now, I remember in the TT contest, which was held in January or February this year, she had come, she was one of the timers for that day, along with Ranga and Gopinath, I believe so. And she had come with her son to that particular meeting. And I could see how interested she was in that contest and wanted to learn. However, she couldn't continue for some reason in our club, but now she is back. She is back and she already has done the Toastmaster of the Day role a fortnight ago. Lakshmi Ramesh, over to you. Please give us your roles and responsibilities as a timer.
Thank you, Ranga. Thank you so much for a nice, warm introduction. So, good afternoon, Toastmasters, and welcome guests. As a timer, I will time the speakers' formal speeches, table topics, and their evaluations. I will also alert each speaker of the time they have left using green, yellow, and red cards, which denotes specific time remaining. For example, prepared speakers, they have 5 minutes as a minimum, that is 1 minute, 4 minutes, I will raise a green card, 5 minutes, I'll raise a yellow card, and 6 minutes, I'll raise a red card. So it will...
Hello?
Yeah.
Hello? Sorry for the interruption. Actually, everyone has 5 minutes as a minimum.
No.
Lakshmi, today we don't have an icebreaker speech. So,
yeah.
Okay.
Just one moment. So
all the 3. Sorry for the interruption again.
Sorry, I'm reviewing the sheet which is shared by Ranga. It shows 7 minutes for each speaker. 5 to 7 minutes.
5 to 7. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that fine?
Yes, go ahead, Lakshmi.
Yeah. So at 5 minutes, I will share my screen. Sorry. 1 minute. I'm really sorry on it. Yeah. 5 minutes, I will share my screen as green, and 6 minute yellow, and then red card for 7 minutes. Yeah. So for Prepared speakers, 4 minutes as a green card, and 5 minutes as yellow card, and 6 minutes as red card. Again, for table topic speaker, the time is given maximum 2 minutes, minimum 1 minute. That is 1 minute. I will raise the green card. 1.1 minute 30 second. I will raise the yellow card, and 2 minutes I'll raise the red card. Same as for the evaluations. Again, 2 minutes I'll raise the green card. 2 minutes and 30 seconds I'll raise the yellow card, and 3 minutes I will raise the red card. Yeah. Thank you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Lakshmi. Just a small correction for the speakers, prepared speakers. The green card will be at 5, the yellow card will be at 6, and at 7 there will be red card. A 30 seconds grace time will be given for the prepared speakers to complete their speech. Now, the next role player, as we talked about our counter, today the role player, the role is being played by Ranga, and Ranga has a close connection with Medley. He's a young Toastmaster, or should I say young old Toastmaster. So he has a very close connection with Medley despite being a very young Toastmaster in Medley. Now I remember his 550th meeting. We had the milestone 600 last week. But let's go 50 meetings before the 550th meeting where we had an IITM Research Park, and he delivered a small speech on what Medley means to him, and it was very close to his heart as well. I remember his toothbrush speech where he was talking about his niece and nephew and the history of toothbrushes. He's an avid listener of music. Once he told me after SPB's death, SPB is living in his ears. Over to you, Ranga. Please explain the roles and responsibilities of an R counter.
Thank you so much, General Evaluator Jagan. Can you hear me? Can you all hear me?
Yes, Ranga, we can hear you.
Okay.
Yes, Ranga.
Thank you, Jagan, again, fellow Toastmasters and guests. The purpose of the R counter is to note words and sounds that are used as crutch or pause words by anyone who speaks. During the meeting, I will listen to overused words, including and, well, but, so, and you know. I will listen to filler words, including I will also note when a speaker repeats a word or phrase, such as I, this means. At the end of the meeting, I will report the number of times each speaker used these expressions. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Ranga. So the third role player is the Grammarian. And to Grammarian, when I introduced her the last time, we had a meeting in Aryabaram. It was an in-person meeting. I had told her she represents, or she resembles my sister 20 years from now. Both of them have 2 daughters. So, and I remember in the 550th meeting, she delivered a speech on reflecting on her path. She had already completed a path, and I don't know which path it is. I don't remember the path specifically, but she has already completed one path, and she explained her close connection with her mentor. I think it was Priya. Priya was a mentor. And one thing that I've learned from her speeches that she has delivered in the lockdown, she is more digitally literate now than she was in March. Grammarian, please, Renu, please explain your roles and responsibilities.
Thank you very much, G. Jagannathan, for that introduction. And my path happened to be leadership development. This is for your information. Okay, so as a grammarian, today I'm just going to just say ad hoc what I have to say. So my role demands that I listen to every speaker today, starting from the Sergeant at Arms right up to the very last speaker. I will make a note of the right usage of the English language as well as the wrong usage, if any. And today it's my responsibility also to give you the word of the day, and that's altruistic. Altruistic means selfless or unselfish. An example would be when any politician donates some money to an organization, like say old person's home. Are they doing for purely altruistic reasons, or are they looking for votes? So that is one sentence. And the second sentence would be, Bill Gates is definitely an altruistic person because he donates very generously to all the countries, developing countries in the world, through his Bill Gates Foundation. So these are the 2 examples for today. And I will again put up the word of the day in the chat box, so all of you will have an idea. I'm hoping that I'm encouraging each and every speaker to include the word of the day in their speech, if possible. Thank you very much. Over to you, G.
Thank you, Renu. So I will come back with my team in addition to the 3 evaluators who will evaluate the speeches separately. For now, the screen is back to you, John.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Now we're going to be moving over to the prepared speeches section. Okay, so 3 speakers we have lined up for you. So let me introduce the first speaker. But before the introduction, I would like the evaluator of the speech to read the speech objectives. I would request Ramesh Murugan, the evaluator, to kindly read the objectives of the speech.
Thank you, Toastmaster John. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. The target speaker, the first speaker, going to give level 1, project 2, evaluation and feedback, second speech. And the purpose of this speech is for the member to demonstrate that he or she has applied the feedback received from his or her first speech. Over to John.
Thank you, Ramesh. The speaker hails from Chennai. She is currently pursuing her chemical engineering in Epson College, and her hobbies include photography and being on Netflix. She also loves to cook on occasion. Please join me in welcoming Shruti P. Shruti P. The dog ate my homework. The dog ate my homework, Shruti P.
Thank you, Toastmaster John. Am I audible?
Yes.
Thank you. When I was 9, I heard my then best friend tell our teacher, my dog ate my homework and I couldn't turn it in. This, to my kid ears, seemed like a plausible excuse. So I rushed back home, did all my homework and took it to the neighbor's dog. To ease her digestion, I put the paper between 2 big dog biscuits. The dog ate the biscuits, the paper, and then chucked out the paper. Too late did I realize that I had, instead of placing the homework between the biscuits, had placed the question booklet. Next day, I walked dejectedly to my teacher and turned in my homework, telling her, "Ma'am, my neighbor's dog did not eat my homework. She only ate my questionnaire." My teacher, much to my annoyance, laughed heartily and left it at that. I, on the other hand, was bewildered that the same excuse did not work. When I made my way into college, I still am a procrastinator. On my completed work, I do feel a sense of accomplishment when the confirmation mail pings in my mailbox. But try finishing your work when the teacher is walking down the aisles to collect it. Take this from a student, it is much more action-packed than any Tom Cruise movie. In my supposed free time, I did a full in-depth analysis of my brain. My brain, for the majority of assignment time, has 5 characters: the sensible man, the fun monkey, the panic monster, the insecure duck, and the excuse Nick. When an assignment is announced, the sensible man, who's supposed to commandeer the brain, somehow slips up, and the fun monkey takes over. Random jobs like brushing the windows or deleting old messages from the phone take priority. Counting shells also sound good at this time. As the deadline draws near, the panic monster attacks. Remember, the fun monkey is scared off only by the panic monster. He is the inner voice behind, "Oh God, how will I complete this on time?" He is also achieving the same result by reminding you of the most embarrassing outcomes possible. The fun monkey now says, "Oh crap," and then allows Mr. Sensible to take over. At the sight of now impossible deadlines, the excuse Nick slithers in. It is the voice behind, "Ma'am, the dog ate my homework and I finished it, ma'am, but I left it on the desk back at my home." Sometimes, instead of the panic monster, the insecure duck wades in and acts like a theatrical mother-in-law. That pesky little voice which tells you, "That work you just did was so bad that even Tom and Jerry would have done a better job than you." This insecurity is worse than the panic. It rises from the simple fact that you simply did not spend the requisite time on the job to do your best work, thanks to the fun monkey. The procrastinator is in the bad habit of letting the monkey win. He continues to have the intention to control the monkey. He puts forth a hapless effort, but deep down he knows that the monkey will still win. He vows to change, but the pattern just stays the same. Planning and doing are the two components of being able to achieve things in a healthy and effective manner. Procrastinators love planning, quite simply because planning does not involve doing, and doing is the procrastinator's kryptonite. But when procrastinators plan, they like to do it in a vague manner that doesn't consider reality too closely. And their planning leaves them perfectly set up to not actually accomplish anything. A procrastinator's planning session leaves him with a doer's nightmare, a big list of icky, daunting tasks and undertakings. When you make a list like that, the monkey says, "Oh, perfect. This is easy." Effective planning, on the other hand, sets you up for success. Effective planning takes a big list and selects a winner. Planning must end with a rigorous prioritizing, and one item that emerges as the winner, the item you are going to make your first priority. Effective planning turns a daunting item into a series of small, clear, manageable tasks. Procrastinators are great visionaries. They love to fantasize about the beautiful mansion they will have built one day. Doing. It is not that the procrastinators don't like the concept of doing. They look at their calendar and think, great, this will be fun. And that's because they picture doing things without the presence of the fun monkey. Procrastinators' visions of future scenarios never seem to include the monkey. But when the actual moment arrives to begin the scheduled bricklaying, the procrastinator does what the procrastinator does best. He lets the monkey take over and ruin everything. And that's why persistence is such a critical component of success. It is what lies at the core of a procrastinator's struggle to gain control over the world. The only one way to truly beat procrastination. You need to prove to yourself that you can do it. You need to show yourself you can do it, not just tell yourself. Until then, you would not believe it and nothing will change. Now, how do you start hitting the shots? Try to internalize the fact that everything you do is a choice. Create methods to help you defeat the monkey. Set an alarm to remind yourself to start a task or to remind you of the stakes. Minimize distractions by all means necessary. Aim for slow, steady progress. Storylines are rewritten one page at a time. A deeply ingrained habit like procrastination is a lot like student debt. It doesn't go away all at once. It reduces inch by inch at a time. Remember, this is all about showing yourself you can do it. So the key isn't to be perfect, but to simply improve. The procrastinator who gets slightly better every week is a totally changed person a year later. So don't think about going from A to Z. Just start with A to B. Change the storyline from "I procrastinate on every hard work I do" to "once a week I do a hard task without procrastinating." If you can do that, you've started a trend. I'm still a wretched procrastinator, but I'm definitely better than what I was last year, so I feel hopeful for the future. Now, why do I think so much about this topic? Because defeating procrastination is the same as gaining control over your own life. So much of what makes people happy or unhappy, their level of fulfillment and satisfaction, their self-esteem, the regrets they carry, the amount of free time they have to dedicate to their relationships is severely affected by procrastination. So it is worthy of being taken dead seriously, and the time to start improving is now. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster John.
Thank you, Shruti, for that inspiring speech. If you are still there, I have a question for you, Shruti. You did mention that you love cooking on occasion. So why don't you tell us what was the last dish you cooked and on what occasion?
I made Alfredo pasta sauce last Saturday. I don't cook on occasion, like there has to be no special occasion for me to cook. I just cook when the mood strikes.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And thanks for
sir.
that inspiring speech. Let's move on to speech number 2. Before I introduce the speaker, I would like to invite the evaluator, Toastmaster Sharanya, to give us the speech objectives. Over to you, Sharanya.
Ramesh Rajendran is doing his project in the part Presentation Mastery, Level 1 and Project 2, Evaluation and Feedback. So the purpose of this speech is for the member to present the speech on any topic, receive feedback and apply the feedback on to the second speech. The purpose of this speech is for the member to demonstrate that he or she has applied the feedback received from his previous speech. Timer, please note the time is 5 to 7 minutes. Over to you, John.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sharanya. Introducing the speaker. He is a CA aspirant doing his finals. He's an enthusiastic person in games and sports. He's an aspiring public speaker and tea lover. He is also our club's Sergeant at Arms elect for the next term. That's the Jan to June 2021 term. Please put your hands together for Toastmaster Ramesh Rajendran. Ramesh Rajendran, beyond fear lies success. Beyond fear lies success. Toastmaster Ramesh Rajendran.
Thank you. Before I start my speech, I would like to ask you all a question. What is your greatest fear faced by you? So for that, I'll be launching a poll. So kindly answer it within 10 seconds. Sharanya, please launch the poll. So yeah, what is the greatest fear faced by you? There are 5. Claustrophobia, that is fear of public speaking. Along with that, there are 4 more. That is acrophobia, sociophobia, castrophobia, and zoophobia. So kindly cast which fear you have for 10 seconds. So okay, so we'll close the poll. So we'll see what is the people's greatest fear now. So the greatest fear, claustrophobia, fear of public speaking has been the greatest fear. Okay. So yeah, so let me show the research done by the universities based on the greatest fear. So according to the study conducted by the university, for the greatest fear faced by people is of course public speaking. Then comes height, social situation, enclosed space, and animal. Even the WHO has issued a statement saying that the most feared phobia across the world is claustrophobia, and guess how much percentage it is? 75%. So this speech of mine is going to be not only a experience, it's like how I have overcome this fear. So the topic beyond fear lies success is actually inspired from the advertisement's tagline called Mountain Dew. So this tagline not only endorses it, but also shows my experience of how I overcame this. So in my childhood, I was a silent child. I was afraid to speak. With this, good afternoon, Toastmasters and guest. A very good day to you all. So, as in my childhood, whenever I had visitors in my home parents, they used to ask me and give a handshake and they come to speak to me. But I used to escape to my bedroom. I was fine having conversation with my friends. In fact, I was labeled as one of the talkative guy in the class. This shifted me to a new school in Trichy in my 9th standard. Again, I found myself afraid to speak to other boarders, but gradually I made friends with them also as well, and I got some confidence. One day, an announcement came to my classroom regarding the house competition for literacy and culturals. My friends artistically asked me, "Hey Ramesh, you have good grip in English language. Why don't you join in speech, that is oratory skills, because most of the people won't join there. Anyways, you'll join in other competition. Why don't you join this?" I said like, "No, I don't have any experience on this because it's a big, it's standing in front of audience and I have my fear, so I don't want to participate in that." But my friends somehow motivated me to take part in that, and somehow, though I had no experience and no internet connected computers in my hostel, I somehow did it. In that contest, to my surprise, I got second prize. That's it. Yeah. Along with that, I got second prize for story writing, first prize in scrapbook contest, and third place in quiz contest, but the second prize in oratory skills was really a motivation factor. That was my starting point. Though I had my opportunities in class and presenting speech, I have made a full utilization of that in order to build myself, my confidence in front of facing the audience. After that, after I finished my 10th, I went back to Bahrain for my higher schools. There I had limited opportunity for my speech contest. So yeah, fast forwarding to my higher studies, when I was studying CA Inter in a private institution in Chennai. After a long time, I had an opportunity to present myself in terms of seminar, which was taken as a topic of accounting standards in front of my friends as well as teacher. Being an exam-oriented seminar, I had made a full preparation without being autistic. I wanted it to be beneficial to all in exam perspective. So, though I had some fears, even again, after a long time I'm facing the audience, since they are my friends and my teachers, so why should I fear my friends? So I'll go and speak to them like how I used to speak to them in the hostel. So yeah, I made my preparation next day, went and presented myself in the topic. Initially, everything seems right. But after some time, I saw some of my friends were sleeping. Then the next thing that affected my confidence little bit, because a studious friend of mine who has been acknowledged best attentive person in my class was dozing off. After that, I was worried. Okay, now faculty is only watching. When I was going near him, I was looking through the corner of eyes. He was snoring. My goodness. Somehow I took my courage and my perseverance to complete this seminar fully. At the end, everyone congratulated me. Some even stood and gave a standing ovation to me. That also gave a kind of motivation towards myself. But then only I understood it is not easy to be standing in teacher's shoe while presenting in front of class. When teacher is presenting, you should also be attentive like how they expect. After that, I had opportunity to go to orientation and ITT program. Actually, this is a compulsory program conducted by ICA. So before articleship, I had to take these two programs. So this orientation program is primarily helping chartered accountants in their soft skill and professional path. So I took part in all the activities which involves interaction with audience every day. However, one day I was given a topic to speak and I missed my lines. I had fear, because of which I deviated from the topic. My friends criticized, why did you go and present yourself there always? I was upset for 2 days and I was not interested to enter the stage. After that, one day, a faculty asked in the class name 3 students in your session who inspired you. To my surprise, 7 to 10 people named me as my courage and perseverance to face in front of audience no matter what. This restored my confidence back to present myself in front of the public without fear. So this also helped me in discovering my deep interest in public speaking. For the reasons, I have joined Toastmasters for improving my knowledge and skill. To conclude that, fear has 2 meanings. Forget everything and run, or face everything and rise. Friends, again, the choice is yours. So with this, I would like to conclude the speech, and I would like to thank you everyone who presented me this wonderful opportunity in front of you. Thank you all.
Thank you, Ramesh. That was another inspiring speech. Ramesh, before I let you go, I have a question for you. So you mentioned that you are a tea lover. What do you have to say to the coffee lovers?
I don't know. For me, I like coffee, especially filter coffee. If I go with my friend's house, they used to give that filter coffee. That also unforgettable. But coffee should have a limit. Anything should have its own limit. Even there is a Tamil saying, I will say it in English, even a divine has its own limit. If you cross that, it turns poisonous. So you should have a certain limit, because coffee also contains caffeine. So I would recommend everyone to have a kind of a limit every day, 1 cup or 2 cups. That's it.
Thank you. Thank you, Ramesh. So you've got an advice in coffee as well. Let's move on to speech number 3. Before I introduce the speaker, may I request the evaluator of this speech, Toastmaster Krishna Kishore, to share the speech objectives. Over to you.
Thank you, John, and good afternoon, everyone. So today's speech for Raghunath is going to be evaluated on two specific purposes. Number one is for Raghu to clearly define how Toastmasters envisions mentoring. And the specific purpose for the second point is for Raghu to share some aspects of previous experience as a pro teacher. With that said, timer, please note that the speech is for 5 to 7 minutes, and back to you, team.
Thank you, Toastmaster Krishna Kishore. Toastmaster Raghu has already been introduced as the presiding officer, so I'm not going to give the introduction again, but just to call out that he's our current Vice President Education of Medley and also the President-elect of our club for the term Jan to June 2021. Let's wish him the very best. Toastmaster Raghunath C. Play it big. Play it big, Toastmaster Raghunath C.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster John. How do we do things that inspire us? Toastmaster of the Day, fellow Toastmasters, and distinguished guest, a very warm good afternoon. How do we work with a group of people that brings the best out of us and makes us feel good while we are doing it? See, it has nothing to do with what we do, but it's everything to do with the people that we work with. And ironically, you don't even have to like the people with whom you work. That's the most amazing thing of all. Like if you think about the military, there are people who are willing to risk their lives for the people, even if they don't like sometimes. So what is that creates that atmosphere in which the people care about each other, that they're ready to risk their lives for people that they don't even like sometimes. And this is really remarkable to me. It might be an extreme reference that I'm making now, but human beings with all their complexities and nonsense, what drives them is more very simple. We are basically a social animal. And it is primarily that we respond to the environment that we are in. That's it. Good people are capable of doing very bad things when they are in the company of bad, because they are in a very wrong environment. And people who the society has given up, and if we put them in the right environment, they're capable of performing remarkable things. For me, it all started in 1999. When I happened to read about an article about Toastmaster International in the Gulf News tabloid section in United Arab Emirates, I got quite drawn in by the concept, and the curiosity took me to one of the resorts in Sharjah, straight from my office. With that paper cutting in my hand and not knowing what is in store for me, I was welcomed by a set of people at their best attire and with very warm smiles. When I went inside the room, and I went and sat straight right at the back, I never knew what Toastmasters could do to me, or even what public speaking is all about, though I was very active in student politics at college. Sitting at the back, the round robin started. I know where you have to speak for almost 30 seconds, starting from the word that the previous speaker ended up with. The first speaker started, the TM body started the speech, the next speaker. The time flew so fast in seconds that the person next to me stood up and started speaking. Boom, the chance is mine. I stood up and freezed, not even able to recollect what that last word was. And suddenly the 30-second bell rang and I sat down. And as usual, I was feeling so bad that I wasn't able to utter even one word. And to my surprise, a warm hand held me. And that was the speaker next to me. And he smiled and very assuringly said to me, "That's fine, it happens." And later, he introduced me as himself as Royston, who was a CFO of a big group company in Dubai. who later on went on to become my first mentor in Toastmasters. Toastmasters has been such an environment filled with amazing people, who respect each other, and an environment that set things on how we respond remarkably. And again, we as human beings are relatively very simple, even for our motivation. Now, we get motivated when we are in an environment of people with whom we could trust. And when we start respecting each other's interests, the trust automatically develops. The problem with the trust is that they are not instructions. I can't simply ask one of you, you please trust me. Or I can ask two of you to start cooperating now. To me, the trust and cooperations are primarily the feelings. So the question is, where does this feeling comes from? As human beings, we tend to work among people who we found safe, where we felt like we belonged. And when we feel safe among people whom we spend time with, the natural human response is trust and cooperation, and it just happens. In that first meeting during the break, I was approached by so many Toastmasters, introducing themselves with their warm gestures. The warmth and the safe feeling that I got made me to continue my journey in Toastmasters, where I delivered my icebreaker speech. First time, I got freezed after 3 minutes. I did it again, safely speaking from behind the lectern. And in this journey of Toastmasters for the last 2 decades, I was so privileged to be mentored first by DTM Royston, then the past international president, DTM Mohammad Murad, and effervescent DTM Raghunath, and to my current mentor, DTM Thomas Abraham. It's not just these few good souls, but the whole Toastmaster fraternity has been a mentor to me. And all my mentors have over a period of time been evolved as one of my best friends who are altruistic, with whom I could call anytime and they respond positively. This experience has encouraged me to be more forthright with my views through developing within me the skill to communicate in a manner that is coherent, logical, thought out, and constructive. To me, the enthusiasm and the comradeship that I have always experienced among the Toastmaster mentoring fraternity can be best illustrated by the famous tagline of Videocon in early 2000, whatever role life gives you, play it big. Over to you, Toastmaster Vivek.
Thank you, Toastmaster Raghunath, for ending your speech with that impactful quote. Before I let you go, one question to you. You've been a Toastmaster since 2001. It's a long time. And I know you did take a sabbatical for 6 years, and then you came and joined Medley. So what was that one thing that, pulled you to come back into the Toastmasters fraternity?
See, it is primarily the experience of Toastmasters. It is the sabbatical was primarily because of my hectic life in the office after coming to India. But the fraternity, it is like kind of an addiction, and you may meet a lot of people, like-minded people, that keeps you going. That's what made me to come back to Toastmasters.
Thank you.
And Medley was one of the best at that one, which I have.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Raghu.
I remember you the first person, John, as a VP membership that I was in touch. So yeah, it's all.
Thank you. I wish you the very best for the upcoming term. And that concludes our prepared speech section. Now we will move to the table topics section, the impromptu speaking section. And to handle this section, we have Toastmaster Lavanya Raghu. So to give a quick introduction about herself, she's a manager in a foreign exchange department in an international bank. So all those bundles of US dollars you have, she's the person to go to. She also loves reading books, especially self-help books, and also women-based short stories and poetry. To have the table topic session, I would like to invite Toastmaster Lavanya Raghu.
Good afternoon, dear Toastmasters and guests. Let's move on to the most interesting portion of Toastmasters meeting, which is the table topic session. For this, I will call upon a speaker and introduce a topic who will give a speech for 2 minutes on the topic. This is to practice impromptu speaking. Let me just share my screen. I hope you are able to see the screen. Yeah. So for the first topic, I would like to call upon Toastmaster Shankar.
Hi, Lavanya. Hi.
Hi, Shankar. So the question is, 2 roads diverted in a wood and I took the road less traveled by. Do you have any such experience?
Okay. Thank you, Lavanya, for this topic. Yes, I have a very wonderful experience which I had in last year when I traveled first time with Karnataka after about 10 years by road. That was the road which I drew from Chennai to Mysore. That was the first stop. So at the time, I was seeing there was a lot of building and concrete jungle, I would say. I was finding that once reached Mysore, then my next journey, it is from there, it is Chikmagalur. That road was amazing. Even one side we can see a lot of mountain, and other side we can see a lot of trees, which encouraging or which appraising has to come and visit the particular Western Ghats. And wherever we goes, there was a lot of rain and the breeze, which was chilled and we were not, to be honest, we were in the different world. I would say that was the best moment in my life. And even if the time permit, I wish to go that type of place. In Tamil Nadu also, we do have such kind of place in Nilgiri and Kodaikanal. Better we can explore that place also in the coming year. Over to table topic master.
Thank you so much, Shankar. Indeed, your words came alive. Thank you. So to the for the next topic, can I call upon Toastmaster Surya?
Yes, I'm there.
Hi, Surya. So the topic for you is, would you rather always be 10 minutes late or always be 20 minutes early?
Okay. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests. A special chill afternoon to all Toastmasters and guests who are in Chennai right now, if you know what I mean. I would rather do not prefer both. Okay, so except Toastmasters meeting. A Toastmasters meeting, I always prefer to be there at least 1 hour before so that I can meet a lot of people and interact. But at this present scenario, it's not possible to, start joining the meeting before 20 minutes, as there would be a lot of distractions when we speak, especially in online meetings where we cannot individually go and meet any person. It's in a group. And again, reaching a place, a destination, or whatever the place that we go, reaching that place late is also something that's really bad. Okay, so in other words, we would say a person who's not punctual used to do it. But normally, except a Toastmaster meeting, I prefer to go to any kind of place at least 5 minutes early, not too early, as you said, 20 minutes, or again, not late, 10 minutes. So that's it.
Thank you, Toastmaster Surya. Indeed, it was very nice, interesting too. So for the next topic, can I call upon guest Kavya?
Yes.
Okay, so the topic for you is, what's the thing that happened to you that has made you a stronger person?
Thanks, Lavanya, for this opportunity to talk as a table topic speaker for the day. There are many things that has happened to me in my life to feel stronger and become stronger. When I mean, 4 years before, when my marriage got postponed for a year, and when I was also working as a software engineer, I thought of getting into a different hobby. I mean, I wanted to pursue my blogging experience, and I turned it into a business. So if at all that thing didn't happen in my life, that postponing my marriage thing didn't happen, probably I would not have continued my hobby and turned it into a business. And now that I'm fully running my online bridal business as my career. So that is the one thing that made me really stronger and better, I would say. So any experience in life we should see it in a positive way and try to get benefit out of it and do something good. That is my idea. So thanks for the opportunity, Lavanya. Over to you.
Thank you, Javier. It's indeed inspiring. So let's chase our dreams, right? Okay. For the next topic, I would call upon guest Nitya.
Hi.
Hi, Nitya. So the topic for you is, it's a story starter that I have picked up.
Okay.
The car screamed to a halt. Four men wearing masks jumped out and ran into the nearest building. I looked around. The street was deserted except for me. Turn out your creativity now.
Okay, so I need to make it into a story.
Yes.
Okay. So, all right. It was late in the night, and I was coming back from a movie with my friends, and I had dropped all my friends back at home to their home, and I was alone heading home at that time of the night when I realized that I was running short of money and I still needed some petrol for my car. So I decided to stop at the ATM, and at that moment I realized that four people were following me in on a bike, and I was so scared that I abruptly stopped my car and I got down, and then I ran to the nearest store over there, to the nearest medical store, and I pretended to buy something from them, waiting for the men to go away. But the four men never went, and I just kept on waiting, and then I realized that the four men had come to meet the watchman over there. So it was actually not a threat to me. And So yeah, once the four men met the watchman and went away, I happily walked out of the place and went back home. So I was actually scared of something which I need not have felt very scared about. That's about it.
Thank you so much, Nitya. So
I'm sorry.
It's a very well narrated story indeed. Thank you. So for the next topic, I would like to call upon Toastmaster Venkatesan. Toastmaster Venkatesan, you're there, sir?
Yeah, yes. You can.
Okay, yeah. So the topic for you is, if I should die thinking only this of me, what would it be for you, sir?
Thank you for the nice topic, but I don't agree your topic, because at the time of birth, your death time will be predicted by God or someone else. You know that daily, day by day, we will talk about so many positive things, and we will say that yeah, we have achieved everything. We got +2 centum, and we got engineering and campus interview. We got a software company, and now we are a team leader, and we got married, and we got a nice car, everything. But you know that, but the crux is we are moving towards death only. No one can stop death. But to be honest, everybody is expecting the death should be peaceful. When they are sleeping in a bed, it should go. But nothing will happen for each and everyone. Some people will meet accident, some people because of the flood also last year in 2015, I know that my friend's family from Minjur, more than 4 people died because of the flood, the 2015. That is why. Thank you. I would like to conclude my speech. Thank you for the nice topic, David Master. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. For the next topic, I would like to call upon guest Rohan.
Hi.
Hi, Rohan. So I have a topic for you, and this is the one. Fairy tales are more than true, not because they tell us that dragons exist.
Sorry. My computer froze there. Could you start again? Apologies.
Okay, yeah. Fairy tales are more than true, not because they tell us that dragons exist, but because they tell us that dragons can be beaten.
Wow. Good evening, everyone. It's an honor to be here amongst you all today. I am a huge fan of fairy tales, and I think there's a lot that we can learn from them. And yes, when we all start off, it's the magic of the fact that this could all be true. But as we grow, we learn about the importance of these dragons. And I'd like to share something that's probably topical to us all. If we're looking at dragons as potentially negative situations, it would be things like this lockdown, or what was a lockdown, and the challenges that we face. Because when this started, I noticed that all of us were freaking out, worrying what to do and how to handle it. But over time, we realized things aren't that bad, and that there are advantages that we can take away from this. So for example, just before this whole lockdown happened, a friend and I had been planning to do some podcasting. And we were trying to figure out, what do we do? Where do we go? Should we hire a studio? How much money will be involved in getting guests to come and interviewing them all? But once the challenge came, and once this negative situation came into our lives, we very quickly realized that this Zoom, the very platform that we're using right now, can be transformed and used for podcasting. And so there was this transition when we looked at this monster, this thing like a dragon that we couldn't get over, and that we were given new weapons, like a knight in shining armor coming in to kill this dragon. So I think the dragon story, the fairy tale story, is still relevant today, and I think it can resonate with the child in us all. Thank you.
Wow, that's so nice. Thank you, Rohan. Well interpreted and well narrated too. Thank you. For the next topic, I would like to call upon Toastmaster Dinesh.
Yes, Lavanya.
Hi, Dinesh.
Hi.
I'll give you the topic. Your topic is, what if you could watch a movie about everything that happened in your life until now? Would you enjoy it? Which period will be the most interesting?
Oh, superb. Thank you, Madam Table Topic Master, for that very innovative topic. What if I have to predict my future and see my entire life in a movie? Well, then life would be pretty much boring, isn't it? Life is all about what we expect and something that happens which we didn't expect in the most unexpected amount of time. It will become very boring. We would know what is going to happen next, and we would do accordingly to it. For example, we will know like which business is going to be very, very high, whether it's going to be artificial intelligence or something like that 15 years down the line. And we could right now invest now itself very heavily. But still, knowing the future, it can be a pretty much disadvantage to itself, because many such natural events which may happen may not happen. So I would say that in a sense, seeing my own movie, I don't think that it's right, and I think it will become pretty much boring. The adventure of living a life won't be there if I was to see my own life. The whole adventure is going through the mistakes, falling down, getting back, and doing the right thing possible. Thank you, and over to you, Madam Table Topic Master.
Thank you so much, Dinesh. I too agree with you, but I also say that we also would have had ups and downs in life. So all the ups we would know it prior, and downs we will ensure we don't have any downs at all and keep it in a stable way. Thank you so much. For the next topic, I would like to call upon guest Zahir.
Yeah, I'm here.
Hi, Zahir.
Yeah,
So
hi.
your topic is, would you rather go into the past and meet your ancestors or go into the future and meet your great-great-grandchildren?
Yeah, it's a wonderful thing. So really why we are going mystic way. I would like to go back into my ancestors' place rather than going for a future, because a lot of what I am today is because of what was my great grandfathers. Okay, I will go and meet them. Whatever things I find right now, it is a lot of things I have seen people are most selfish. I will try to go to that period to imbibe an activity of altruism so that they become selfless and so that the entire generation becomes selfless. And that will be a more energizing period and enjoying period for me to understand and speak to them rather than speaking to my great grandchildren. They may not be knowing about my roots. It's always go back to the roots. Roots give you strength. Roots give you knowledge. Roots give you the way of life. That altruist people today we don't find. All people are selfish. But one way a COVID situation, maybe any other situation, flood situation has taught to be altruistic. So that's why I feel going back to my ancestors, going back to my great ancestors and understanding them, understanding my roots, which I feel is the right area where I can flourish. One of the wonderful thought you have thought about it, going into future, many people thought about thinking about future. They are not living into the present. Present is nothing but a presentation given to you. Present is always beautiful. Let's nourish our roots and become very happy. And the future, of course, we do not know what it keeps for us. Let's not worry about it. Let's think about the present, live in the present in an altruistic way so that we are always reclined, always be recalled for the qualities which we live in. I feel this is one of the area I want to interest myself and also my friends to get into the roots and understand their basics. Thank you, Lavanya, for the wonderful topic.
Thank you, Zahir. Indeed, when I just posted this question, when I asked this question to myself, I did say I would definitely go back to the roots, and you did share the same. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So for the next topic, can I call upon guest Subhashini?
Hi everyone, I'm here.
Hi Subhashini.
Hi.
So the topic for you is, one day if you become invisible, what will you do?
Okay, so when I'm invisible, I would probably throw a lot of positivity in people's life. If at all I have that power. And when I'm invisible, I would like to go meet all those friends that I think are very close and see what they really think about me. And I will, what else I will do when I'm invisible? I would probably enjoy everything that I can't otherwise do. I might probably travel the world. And I would like to go to places where I'm probably not allowed to, and then know the dark world, dark side of the world. I would love to do that. And then I would love to always be around my mom. When I'm invisible, I would probably just stay around her. She's the one person that I love the most, and so I might be with her and my niece. So I probably would be taking care of them invisibly. So that's what I would love to do. Should I still continue to do? Continue to speak?
Timer, I think, yeah, that's fine.
I can still. Okay. So yeah, this is what I would do.
Thank you so much. And for the next topic, can I call upon guest Priyanka?
Yes, Lavan.
You're there? Yeah, okay. So the topic for you is, would you rather go on a vacation with friends or with spouse? Sorry if you're married.
Yes, I am married.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I would love to go with my spouse, actually. So I think it's because friends, we know them. We do have a lot of fun with them, and we know. But since I'm recently married, and yeah, I would love to go with him and know how he is and know more about him. And I think I enjoy more with him because the way he takes care of me every minute. So it's it's a good feeling, I guess. And yeah, so when you know the good things, the bad things about your spouse, you will understand them more. There is good and bad in everyone, and since I have to be with him for lifelong, so I would rather know more about him, and I would love to spend more time with him. And yeah, so yeah, this is it.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Priyanka. I would definitely choose friends because now it's 5 years since I got married. Okay. Okay, so for the next topic, I would call upon DTM Sampath sir.
Yes.
So I have a topic for you. I wandered lonely as a cloud. Have you ever? Share your experience, sir.
Good afternoon, table topic master, fellow Toastmasters, and plenty of guests who are getting a lot of table topic chances. I am a peculiar mix of a personality. I am very happy to be lonely, and I am very, very happy to be in company. Both I like, because both have got some advantages. So if you know how to make the best of company, you should go for company. And when you don't have company, you should know how to make the best of your time. I have developed a lot of hobbies. One of the top hobbies is conversation, and other hobbies like reading, music, religion and philosophies of the world, and Indology, a lot of Indian studies, and even the tribal things and all sorts of things. I keep on trying to get acquainted with. So when I have such a big array of things, I have no problem either with company or without company. Of course, being a social animal, as we say, I certainly like to be with people, particularly, I should say, with people who are good listeners. You know why I am saying this? Because Toastmasters always found good listeners. That is one of the reasons why we come to the Toastmaster Club. Because when we talk, we have lots of people listening to us. So company is slightly preferable. So I will say 51 to 49. I can wander lonely as a cloud, as Wordsworth told. Very good quote you are given, because I share my birthday with Wordsworth, William Wordsworth. Back to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Thank you. So the last topic for today, I would like to call upon DTM Thomas, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, sir, the privilege. So let me just ask you this question. If you had to live without one of your 5 senses, which one would you choose to give up?
If I have a choice, I would like to live with all the 5 and also the 6th sense. And in fact, I would rather have the 6th sense and rather than have all the 5. But then it's like Solomon once had this 2 women in front of her, claiming that each of them was the mother of the same child. So it's that kind of a dilemma. And of course, in that story, the fake mother said, cut the kid. And the real mother said, don't cut the kid. Let her have the kid. Let my kid live. For me, it's a Hobson's choice. Maybe being the last one, you kept the difficult one for me. But really, I do not want to give up what the 5 senses are giving me. The 5 senses, they multiply. It's a factor of multiplication that the 5 senses give. Imagine listening to the music and not seeing the scenes. It's deprivation. Having got used to it, since nature has been good or God or whoever, I would rather keep it and enjoy life the way it is, because there is such a lot in terms of sounds, the variety of 7 sounds, its combinations, the string instruments to the wind instruments to, that's one style. Colors, millions of colors in shapes and forms. How can we give up that? Taste, my God. Why is kitchen the most important room in the house? You have the answer there. touch, touch. Even the way the waves caress the beaches, there is romance in that. How can I give up any of this? I would like to have all 5 of them and make it available to others, the combination of it, the joy, the ultimate joy, and also have the 6th sense so that I do not become a curse or a boredom on others. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm so impressed. Thank you so much. So with this, we conclude the table topic session today. Over to Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Lavanya, for those thought-provoking topics. Really amazing. I can understand the amount of work that you have put in to come up with these topics. Kudos to you. Before I let you go, one question for you. What is your thoughts on the theme of the day, Charity Begins at Home?
Yeah, so it is vital in this environment that we ought to, give to others who are definitely in need. It could be anything, be it love, be it affection, be it food, anything for that matter. So first thing that we have to do is to take care of ourselves. That's the biggest seva that we can do. So once we are able to fall in line, that's when we take care of our family. And if we take care of our family, it is understood we take care of the entire world as such. So the charity begins definitely at home.
All right. Thank you. That concludes the table topic session. Moving on to the third session of the day, which is the evaluation session. To conduct the evaluation session, let me bring back Toastmaster Jagan. Over to you, Toastmaster Jagan, who's our General Evaluator.
Thank you, John. So the first evaluator will directly jump to this session will be divided into the speech evaluations, the tag evaluations, tag reports, and my personal report as a general evaluator. So the first evaluator today is Ramesh Murugan, who is here to evaluate Shruti Prakash's speech. To give us introduction is that from the medley circles, he is known to be a typical team leader. Now, anybody who was part of the 600, they will say he was a typical team leader. It's like every time he is in a conference, Amma, what do you have to say? Your opinion. So he asks everybody's opinion in a conference call or in a team. And on top of that is the incoming VPPR. He actually led the last week's meeting along with Priya, not just on screen, but also backstage as well. Let me welcome Toastmaster Ramesh Murugan to evaluate Shruti Prakash's speech.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jahan. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Thank you. First of all, I would like to thank Shruti for bringing the complex subject. The central theme of Shruti's speech today, what I listened is related to one of the Benjamin Franklin's quote. It goes like this: if you fail to plan, you are planning to fail. We all know that procrastination or postponing a task is not good, but most of us struggling to overcome. I really thank Shruti for sharing your views and experiences on how to overcome procrastination. Hats off to you. The screenplay of your script is so nice, starting with a small story, 5 different inner voices, and concluding with a strong message. Overall, the script and the structure is awesome. Also, as per the project's recommendation, you have significantly improved your speech delivery by effective eye contact, confident standing posture, a free hand movement, and smooth transitions. However, I have a couple of suggestions to take your speech to the next rarer level. Number 1, optimize the number of words in your speech so that you will be able to give appropriate pauses and able to connect with the audience. Your usage of words is too much. Number 2, if you have watched 2018 Toastmasters World Champion speech by Ramana J. Smith, she used a technique to deliver 3 different scenarios by standing in 3 different places. Similarly, you could come out to how to differentiate the 5 different inner voices with a prop or by using voice modulation. That would have helped to engage with audience and still be able to connect with you on the speech. I believe that every presentation is something like a performance, and all the performances are in the service to the audience. Audience time is very valuable. No matter what kind of presentations we are giving, We must find ways to create authentic audience connection, engagement, and value. Honestly, Shruti, your speech delivered a great value, and truly for me, it's a great takeaway to revisit my own procrastination techniques and effective planning. Thank you. Overall, over to Jagan.
Thank you, Ramesh. So the second evaluator for the day, who is to evaluate our second speaker, is Toastmaster Sharanya. Now, Sharanya, as you all know, that the image that comes to my mind is her taking all the suitcases in the previous term. She was the sergeant at arms, and if you connect with Suganti, our immediate past president, she will say, in addition to the VP Ed, she is the most committed leader that you can ever see. Now, I'm saying in addition to the VP Ed because the VP Ed is our current president. We all know how committed he is as well. So the sergeant at arms, she performed the sergeant at arms role, and she performed last term. She was the treasurer, which is the current term, and she is the incoming treasurer as well. Now, one thing that I see in her is that when we were all having this discussion of giving 700 back, and the onus fell on her as the treasurer to get through that process. And we all saw her acting skills last meeting as well, the lighter side of things. She works with fidelity. Now, this is something that I picked up from the introductions that have been given to her. She works with fidelity. Sharanya, please evaluate the second speaker.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jagan, for the introduction. So I'm here to evaluate Ramesh Rajendran's speech. His project was on evaluation and feedback on his second speech. The topic he spoke about is beyond fear lies success. So Ramesh, like he started off very well. No, he started with a poll asking a question like, what really makes everybody fear? So when the poll raises and everybody answered, it was like similar to that of the research that was presented. Everybody was fear of public speaking. So you also explained the different scenarios, like how did you gain confidence from your school and from your college, and the presentations that you did, and what all programs that you joined actually, which really put you out of your fear by giving a lot of presentations and participating in lot of events. And as per the objective, like you took the feedback of your first speech and applied in your second speech. So you added quotes here and there as it was recommended from your first speech, and also your expressions. Like you also had a humor, right? When you was giving a presentation and there was a person, your colleague who was sleeping in the class, and I really enjoy the expression and the vocal variety that you had as well. There were ups and downs throughout your speech. It really had a life, and you gave a lot of meaning to your speech. And your speech was very smooth and it was very clear. It was very easily understandable. The process was very good. And you also had a very good eye contact to the camera whenever it is required. And when you had an imaginary friend talking to you, you also looked at him and spoke. And your physical gestures was very good, like you were standing and talking throughout the speech. And the presentation that you showed, you just did not add a lot of presentation or screens to present. You just showed the survey results of the research that you have done. And overall, it was like a 100% justification you have given to your speech. And you also concluded it very well, like telling, forget everything and run, face everything without fear. I really enjoyed it. And just one recommendation I have to your speech is like you used a colloquial language in between, like telling like the, instead of that you would have used either it as dude or buddy, something like that. It would have been much more better. So overall, it was a very good speech. Looking forward to your future speeches. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Sharanya. So to evaluate the third speaker, Krishna Kishore is coming from the past. Now it actually means that he is 5.5 hours lagging behind, because as you when people, he's from UK, he's connecting from UK, and one of the things that digital has made us is to bring back past members of Medley and to make them part of Medley's progress that we are seeing. And in the 575th meeting, there was a song that we composed, and Krishna Kishore also contributed to the Telugu lyrics of the song. And from the speeches that he has given in Medley, I can deduce that he is a long-standing member. Not just that he has shared a lot of memories with the members of the club as well as outside from the district level. He shared one speech that he mentioned about his district conferences memories. So to evaluate the third speaker, Toastmaster Krishna Kishore, over to you.
Thank you, Jagan. Good afternoon, everyone, and a very special good afternoon to Raghunath, who is my speaker for today. If I have to summarize Raghunath's speech today, I would say it as people skills in 7 minutes. What a wonderful start, Raghunath. You have captured the audience by asking a question: what inspires us? Later, you digged or slipped down into your content and you have connected with 3 specific questions, what I as a Toastmaster have on the top of my mind when I come to hear a project with this specific purpose. Those were, what makes you to stay connected to Toastmasters for so long in your case, and what skills does a mentor need to possess, and who was your mentor and how they have helped. In my view, you have answered all of these 3 questions in a very good, with a very good content and examples. And the second thing I liked about your speech was you are playing it very bright. When I say bright, you are very calm and composed throughout the speech, and your hand gestures in the way you are presenting yourself to the video was very good, because I appreciate for you to taking that extra, walking that extra mile and standing and delivering the speech, because that had a good impact on your overall delivery of speech. Now, having said that, you had a great content and delivery. It is a good speech, no doubt. How do we make this good speech and take this to the next level and make it great? I have 2 specific recommendations for you for this speech. Recommendation number 1, you could have connected with one of your personal stories in the journey of being mentored or as a protégé. So when you connect audience with a specific story, what I felt was it was more generalized. Whatever the content you have delivered to us, it was more generalized, but it did not connected you to you at a personal level. So if you had one personal story which demonstrate a very specific thing about the overall goal of Toastmasters mentoring, it would have taken your speech to the next level. And the second one I would like to highlight is the body language. I really appreciate your efforts in taking that time and effort to stand and deliver the speech. I felt you were very good at that, but the body language required some impact. When I say impact, you are moving, I felt you were moving a little too much than what was required for your speech. So your constant movement had made me slightly distracted to the real content of the speech. Having said that, you have had great answers to all the what and whys of being a Toastmasters mentor. It would have been it would have been great if you have connected us with the how part of it. With that said, all the very best for your next speeches, Raghunath. Back to you, General.
Thank you, Krishna Kishore. So now we are done with the first part of the evaluation section. We are going into the second part, which is the timer, R-counter, and grammarian report. To give out the timer report, let me invite timer Toastmaster Lakshmi Ramesh to deliver her report.
Thank you, Jagan. See, actually, the benefit of timer rollers, it is very important. It is an important role of allow to everyone of their timings, especially to the speakers, is to allow the Toastmaster a chance to realize how much time they actually spent on the stage, which can be either longer or shorter than what they expected when rehearsing their speeches. Yeah, actually, if you see, for the prepared speakers, the time limit is given 7 minutes, but all of them have been a little bit used, that is the grace time. So except Ramesh Rajendran, he has been used 7 minutes 36 seconds. The rest, Shruti and Raghunath sir, is within the limit. 7 minutes 22 and 7 minutes 3 seconds. Yeah. So in the table topic is again, so everyone is given their speech within the limit below 2 minutes, except that is Priyanka and Subhashni is given less than 1 minute. So rest of are all are qualified. And then again, if you go to evaluator session, so Ramesh Murugan and Sharanya is given within limit within 3 minutes. That is 2 minutes 25 seconds and 2 minutes 47 seconds. Only Krishna Kishore have been used 3 minutes 19 seconds. Again, this is within limit because we are giving 30 seconds as grace time. So yeah, it was that's actually if I share my experience on this timer role, it is really it is very useful and benefit to the role who are taken this. The speaker have much order to the role. It improves time management skill. One of the skill Toastmaster practice is expressing a thought within a specific time. The timer is responsible for monitoring time for each meeting segment and each speaker. Thank you for the opportunity given. Thank you, Jagan.
Thank you, Lakshmi. I hope the host has made note of the qualified speakers, qualified evaluators, as well as the table topic speakers. Now, coming to the R-counter report, may I request Ranga to deliver his report as an R-counter.
Oh, just a second. I'm going to share my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
I've done my best. I listened to this was a fantastic experience for me to listen to each and every speech slowly and absolutely, so that I don't make any mistakes. So here I've put up on the screen the type of filler words that the speakers have used, the overused words, the pauses, and the repetitions. So Toastmaster Shruti had a clear speech and she just zoomed ahead. The only word that she used constantly was procrastination, and procrastinating. And I think that was more due to the nature of her speech. Toastmaster Ramesh Rajendran had a couple of hours, and so he used quite a few times. And the greatest fear was what came out quite so often in his speech. Toastmaster Raghunath, excepting for the ahs and ers and it was a rather clear speech. Coming to the TD session, DTM Sampath Saurirajan had 4 hours. Toastmaster Venkatesan had 2 hours. Toastmaster Surya had an hour, so 4 times, and 1 pause. TM Shankar had 1 hour. Guest Priyanka had a few hours and 4 times. Yeah, actually, we know, were some of the phrases that she used quite often. Guest Rohan had a very clean speech. It was fluent as well. DTM Thomas had 2 hours and 4 times. Colors, he used colors quite often. Pauses, there was 1 pause. Guest Zaki had 2 hours, and roots, understanding roots, came out quite often. Toastmaster Dinesh had 3 hours. Guest Subhashini had 4 hours, 4 hands, 4 pauses. Guest Kavya had 5 hours, and any experience was something that she had used often. Guest Nitya had 4 hours, 5 hands, 5 plus hands, and 1 pause. Actually, and were used more by her. Coming to the evaluations, Ramesh Murugan had a crystal clear speech. Toastmaster Sharanya had 4 hours and a few times, like or was used more than once in her speech, in her evaluation. Toastmaster Krishna Kishore had 5 plus hours and 3 times and 2 pauses. That's my report. Thank you. Back to you, Jim.
Thank you, Ranga. So for submitting the grammarian report, Renu, could you take over the screen?
Yeah. So let's go through the words, unusual words or words that perhaps many people have not heard before. So Toastmaster of the day, John, used strike a balance, thought-provoking. G. Jagannathan used parlance, deduce. Speaker Shruti had quite a large vocabulary. She used plausible, dejectedly, bewildered, procrastinator, fun monkey, panic monster, theatrical mother-in-law, requisite, rigorous, daunting, critical component. And then we go on to speaker number 2, Ramesh Rajendran. He used the words endorses. He did use the word of the day, but in the wrong context. And then we have full utilization fast forward from Ramesh Rajendran. Then speaker 3, Raghunath, used the word of the day once. He used words such as coherent, comradeship. Then he also used a quote saying, whatever role life gives you, play it big. Then all the TT speakers, guest Rohan used potentially negative situation, knight in shining armor, relevant, resonate. Then we have TT speaker guest Zakir used the word mystic, used the word of the day twice. Then we had DTM Sampath, words such as array, social animal. Then DTM Thomas used the word.
Host, could you mute everybody except the grammarian?
Yeah, done.
Thank you. Go ahead, Ren.
Okay, then TT speaker DTM Thomas used Hobson's choice. That is, the meaning is a choice of taking what is available or nothing at all. Then he used the word caress. Then we'll move on to evaluators. Yeah, Ramesh Murugan, he used the quote, if you fail to plan, you're planning to fail. Hats off to you, authentic, revisit. I think there were a lot of wrong usages. It's a long list, so I really don't want to run out of time. So perhaps I will probably submit the report offline. A lot of them. So I think most importantly, I think many of you pronounce the word gestures as gestures. That we all need to make a point of using the correct pronunciation. And also, yeah, there are plenty of wrong usages. So I shall put all in a report and put it online. I mean, I'll put it up on the our platform later. Okay, I hope that is okay because I really don't have the time now to go to the entire thing.
Sure, Renu. We can share it either via email. We can share it with the VP head, so he can decide whether email or WhatsApp.
Okay, right. Thank you.
Renu. So coming to this ends the second part of this of the evaluation. The third part is my own evaluation as the general evaluator. Starting from the meeting 4:14 as in 2:55. We didn't start at 2:55. We started at 2:57 where the SAS started talking. Now I noticed by 2:55 the Toastmaster of the day and one of the evaluators were not present. The lesson that we could have taken from the two previous meetings where the role players had arrived to the meeting 10 or 15 minutes before, which made the meeting plausible and it was smoother. So I would request the role players to arrive at the meeting at least 10 minutes before. Now from there, the SAA opened the meeting. 2 minutes late, we were 2 minutes late. It was a beat start to the meeting. The presiding officer, I want to appreciate the presiding officer because he's taking a dual role and so is the sergeant at arms. The presiding officer started with by the December 12 special meeting that we have and the other business. He mentioned about the slots and how we will connect with them, with the members on the slots. And he also asked the guests, whoever were present, it's a very good thing. Before the timing, before the TMOD's time, you completed it. Kudos to you. The Toastmaster of the day, Bullseye, started with the theme. He did not waste the time. He's just Bullseye started with the theme. This is what the theme is. And he clearly explained the misunderstanding of the theme as well. Wonderfully done, John, there. And he also explained the sections of the Toastmaster. As we all know, John is a methodical speaker. He speaks in sections, and it was very good for him because for a guest to listen, sections of a Toastmaster is a valuable addition. He delivered it with the utmost discipline in that. Now coming to the general evaluator, myself, I took time at the start, which I realized when John actually understood that I took time. So he, when I gave the control back to him, he said he did not go on dwell about the theme. He directly started with the prepared speech. And I want to appreciate John there because I took more time in introducing people. So from there, the Toastmaster of the day gave it to the speaker. I want to appreciate the Toastmaster of the day here is because he started something new. After the speech was there, he asked a question to all the three speakers, which we do not generally see. And it is to make the speaker comfortable. It is not present in any other, I have not seen it elsewhere, and neither have I seen it in Medley. This is an experiment which John has started, which has worked very well today, because the intention of it is to make the speaker comfortable without also wasting the time or dragging the meeting. Very well done, John, there. Coming to the table topics session, I want to appreciate Lavanya here too for her presence of mind, because at the first she shared the presentation, but then she understood Lakshmi Ramesh was also sharing the presentation. So she started reading out the topics rather than sharing her screen. Wonderful topics, a bit tedious, but wonderful topics there. Coming to the evaluations were crisp. One thing that I really liked is that they asked or gave specific advices to their speakers so that they can improve much. For example, Ramesh mentioned an international speaker, which is a very, very good thing. Tag, I want to appreciate all the three of them, especially Lakshmi Ramesh, and in addition to the other two as well, because doing a timer role in a digital meeting is not simple. And all of us have understood that. And Lakshmi Ramesh, kudos for taking up this challenge. Wonderfully done. And also both of them, Lakshmi Ramesh as well as the accountant, they shared their experiences. Why doing this role is good. Something that I appreciated. And then the grammarian, one thing that was out of the ordinary is to mention the word of the day used in a wrong context, which is a very good precedent that we have set, so that if we can mention if the word of the day is being used in a wrong context, very well done. So we are very well on time, because my allotted time was to be 4:39. I am completing it in 4:38 itself. So there are a few recommendations. One is that the sergeant at arms and the presiding officer took dual roles. If we could make sure, I understand that there are a lot of pullouts this time, and specific kudos to the VP8. If we could make sure that these dual roles are reduced, and I have few more, and I will, in the interest of time, I will share this in an email. Over to John.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jagan, for the meticulous evaluations and your detailed general evaluations report. Let me ask you a question as well before I let you go. So, having won the division level evaluation contest, what is that one tip you would give to aspiring evaluators?
One thing that I have practiced is to practice in club. So club is a space where we can practice. And if we could put the speaker in the spotlight, that is the way for progress.
All right. Thank you, Toastmaster Jagan, and wishing you the very best for the district level competitions. Moving on, I would like to call for the vote. You can vote for the best speakers, best table topic speakers, and best role players. There you have the poll in front of you. Kindly take a minute to give your selection here in the polls: the best speaker, best evaluator, role player, tag player, and TT speaker. Let it be another 30 seconds. All right. Moving on, we have a surprise session today, which is not part of our traditional Toastmasters structure. This session is evaluating the evaluator. So we're going to have a master evaluator come and give his evaluations on the evaluators. So let me introduce the person who's going to be running through this session. He is none other than our very own distinguished Toastmaster, Sunil Jose. He is an intellectual property lawyer. He is the founder of Sons Legal, a law firm specializing in intellectual property, copyrights, trademarks, so anything with that, he's the person to go to. He's been in Toastmasters for 10 years. He's the past president of Medley Toastmasters Club, past area director. He's also the past chief judge of District 82 of Toastmasters International. Over to you, DTM Sunil Jose.
Thank you, thank you, John. Am I audible? Okay. So I think my time is 2 minutes per evaluator, right? Okay. Yeah, thank you. So for the guest information of the guest, this, as John explained, this is a session where we will be evaluating the evaluators. Very brief evaluations will be given to evaluate how did they do the evaluation. So without taking much time, I'm just straightly going to the first evaluator. Ramesh Murugan was evaluating the project speaker number 1, Shruti. So now applied. So the what was the good thing about Ramesh? Ramesh, it was a typical evaluation speech. So you say you had that all that elements like a quote, touch. 1 second. Okay, the quote you had you connected with the personal experience of the subject and all that things were that. So it was a typical evaluation speech and very encouraging. That is more important. You were very encouraging to the speaker, sounded encouraging to the speaker. So the speaker is also motivated and inspired to give more speeches like this. There was very clear clarity in thoughts. I mean, absolutely well that the speaker would have understood completely what you wanted to convey to her. Now, one recommendation from my part is that this is a speech project number 2, where you have to take the feedback from the first speech and you have to evaluate her. So you didn't mention the recommendation she received in her first speech. So, and you recommended, even if it was she had improved or not improved, that would have helped her a lot. And that is the main purpose of this evaluation. And I felt, in my opinion, you touched more upon the subject than the object of the evaluation. Because I think you are also engrossed in procrastination, which all of us are. I mean, experienced. If I also would have done the same thing, because I am also a good procrastinator. So these are the things. So because Shruti had a lot of good points in her speech, like the clarity of her words, clarity of words, and the perfect voice. So these all could have been pointed out. One suggestion, if you could have given, is that there was a lot of areas where I was feeling like Shruti was looking at the notes and reading. So more than it was more like a reading mode. So you could have recommended that one also to Shruti, so for that she can improve next time. Thank you, Ramesh, for that wonderful evaluation. We will move on to the second evaluator. Second evaluator was Sharanya, our own Sharanya. Sharanya also sounded very encouraging to the speaker, absolutely nice. And the good thing about her evaluation was that Sharanya, you mentioned the recommendations he had in the last speech. So you mentioned this very clearly, and you said that these are improvements you have done. These areas you have to improve. Now that you also give some suggestions, but I felt there were more positive in even in speaker number 2, Ramesh. So the purpose itself, they are new Toastmasters. Even though he looked like he knows public speaking, but still he's new to this club. But there are a lot of guests are also there. So I think he should have given listed out more positive. For example, he was very confident. If you look at it, he was very confident and very expressive and humorous. Humorous you already mentioned. So this is one thing. The second thing I felt is about your evaluation, that you could have been more clear in your thoughts. Like there are a lot of points, but if you bring more clarity in taking each point and giving to him, it would have helped him a lot more, and a little louder. So these were the two things as an evaluator. These are the two things I wanted to suggest. Other than that, it went very well. So let's move on to the third speaker. The third speaker was our VP Education, Raghunath, and the evaluator is my friend Krishna Kishore. Krishna, this was like, I don't know why they put me as a master evaluator for you. So it was like a very clear, most of you may be knowing Krishna. Krishna's clarity of thoughts is very well known. So you pointed out very clearly that the content was really great and the delivery was very great. And you also recommended that a personal story would have been better. I mean, it would have added more, specificity or something. What should I say? more purpose. Okay, the message would have been conveyed more in a better way, and the body language. Yeah, these are. I mean, I agree with all this. I think I agree with you that the evaluation was very good. But I felt one or two recommendations I have for you is that this is a special project. So this project is not like a normal project. So maybe guests who are in the audience may not be aware like this mentoring process and all. So I think a repeat of the object, the purpose. Not completely, but you can still say this is about mentoring and you have to talk about mentoring, something like that would have connected, the topic would have connected more with the audience, especially the guests. They would have understood in a better way. The second thing I wanted to tell you, there are two, he actually had personal story in his speech, but this personal story was in the second part when the person who was sitting next to him touched him, and then that was a personal story. But I think you were mentioning the first part, in the beginning. I also agree with you. It was abstract because if you bring some character or some person in that initial part, it would have been connected well because you were telling about a lot of people, a lot of incidents, a lot of things, and because no one was listening, like everyone will be feeling like something is introduction only, so we will get to the speech very soon. So if they brought something like that, maybe it may not be your personal thing, but as the evaluator suggested, it is recommended that you bring something personal to your the opening. So except that for Krishna, my suggestion was, my recommendation is that it would have been more specific, mentioning where he actually had to bring that personal connection, because there were two parts, maybe audience will be confused. So other than that, Krishna's evaluation was very good. I enjoyed, and this was also a surprise moment for me. Yesterday only, the surprise session was announced to me as surprisingly. So thank you for inviting me, and over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, distinguished Toastmaster Sunil Jose. I would like to ask you a question before I let you go. Why is that we are not getting many people to volunteer for the judge training program? What can we do to get more people to sign up for the judges training program?
I think last year when I was the chief judge, there was a recommendation that there should be some monetary benefits to be included in that. So in fact, that question was very seriously raised. But I feel the one way is like there was no awareness. Like I mean, generally Toastmasters feel that it's only about speaking. You gain something only from speaking or evaluating. You don't gain anything from judging. Because judging is a very important step where you listen analytically to a speech, and I think the Toastmasters miss that part, that important part of about judging. So I think if we make them more aware of this, analytical listening is not simple listening. Analytical listening is a skill which we can develop if you are a judge in a contest. So I think that should be our motto. Like that at this next year, we should make them aware of this, more about analytical listening. So I think we can bring in more judges.
Thank you so much, DTM Sunil Jose. Those of you who are interested in the judges training program, please do message DTM Sunil Jose. He'll be more than happy to explain it to you. That brings us to the end of my role as the TMOD. I would like to hand over the podium to the presiding officer, Toastmaster Raghunath. Over to you.
Thank you so much, John. It was really a wonderful session. I thoroughly enjoyed, and hence would like to get two key points. One, I just wanted to remind all our members about the special general body meeting on 12th. The other point is I would like to hear back from the guests who are here, like guest Rohan, on how they felt about the whole meeting. In few words. Guest Rohan.
Good evening, everyone. I thoroughly enjoyed the meeting. For one, I was quite impressed with the number of people that attended the meeting, which is hard to do this many months into not having face-to-face meetings. I love the TMOD, and especially the part where you asked, after the speakers had spoken, you asked them some questions. I really liked that. That was a great touch. And I'm also impressed with the way you stuck to your timing, to keep the meeting on track. I'm sure it takes a lot of effort to keep things going. And I like the general vibe of the meeting, how everyone was together. So this is definitely a club I would attend in the future. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Nitya, or Kavya?
Hi. I really enjoyed this session. Thank you so much. One thing I really when I realized was that everybody was listening. Nobody was slacking on their listening skills. Everybody was like tuned into the session and completely involved and immersed in the the Toastmaster experience. And that's something I really enjoyed about the whole program of this afternoon. And I think that would bring me back again next week.
Great. Kavya,
Yes. Sure. I thoroughly enjoyed the meeting today, and especially TMOD and TT speaker. TT role who had taken was really good, because for a reason that our TMOD, the way he finished every section, whenever he get into a new section, he had a special element to give it to the audience, and the flow was really good. And I really personally enjoyed the table topic session. Though it was a long session, we didn't feel like we were in a very long discussion or meeting. The flow was really good, and all the people are in this club is so positive, and I am really, as I said, I feel very honored to be a part of today's meeting in this prestigious club. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much, Kavya. Now it's the time to announce the winners for today. So let me share. The best speaker goes to Shruti Prakash. And the best tag player goes to Renu Narayan. The best role player goes to John Jayakumar. The best evaluator goes to Ramesh Murugan. Best table topics goes to Rohan Tharyan, our guest. That's it for today. Good job. I really enjoyed the meeting. And with the imaginary gavel, let me open or close the meeting 601 and open the chat room ultimately.